very much.
All right, thank you, Richard. We're going to do a fun little exercise here. So hopefully everyone still has their Menti turned on, because that's how you're going to be answering the questions as we go through this next set of slides. So go ahead, next slide. So for this exercise, I want all of you to think that you are working a border crossing. So the picture, there you are at the border crossing, and you stop this truck for an inspection. You're wondering what is inside of the vehicle. So the driver gets out and he goes around, opens up the back of the truck, and you're going to see several items in the back of the truck. Now you can ask the driver any questions that you have about the items. Otherwise, he'll just sit there and not say much at all. So what we're going to do is go through the next couple slides. I want you to think a little bit about what Richard just talked about the totality of circumstances idea. So when we look at these items, we want to think, what if all of these items were put together? Would we have a problem? And try to identify what they are. Throughout the next 3 days, we're going to do several of these exercises, and hopefully you'll be gaining more information and knowledge on what these items are and what they could be used for. This is going to be an initial kind of fun little exercise to see how much we know at this point. So let's go ahead to the next slide. So when you open the back of the truck, you find this spool. And we're going to look at this spool and we're going to say, what do we think this might be a problem? Okay, I think we have quite a few very smart people in the group. Does anyone want to take the microphone and tell us what you think this item is? Or if you have any questions, you can ask as well. All right, does anyone want to tell us what you think this item is?
Get a few seconds to discuss.
Okay.
Có anh nào có câu trả lời không ạ? Anh nào trả lời có đấy ạ. À đây em xin lỗi.
Theo tôi thì là nó vẫn có nguy cơ, bởi vì rằng là cái cuộn dây này mình cũng không thể kiểm soát hết được ở phía trong và phía trong của các cuộn dây đấy. Vì có thể là tội phạm có thể là sử dụng một phần ở trong cái cuộn dây này để giấu các cái thiết bị hoặc là các cái vật chứa gây nổ. Ví dụ như là dây cháy chậm chẳng hạn.
Okay. Good. Very good answer. Well, I'm the driver of the truck, and you ask me, what is this? And I say, I'm a farmer, and this is a sturdy cord or piece of rope that I use on my farm. That's my answer. It's a cord. All right, let's go to the next picture. Now you find this in the truck. I'm sure everyone can identify that. Do you think this could be a problem? So I see a lot of you think it's a problem, but again, I'm a farmer and I tell you, I have tractors that I use on my farm, and I went to go pick up fuel oil to use as fuel in my farm vehicles. Okay, let's go to the next picture. And then you find this. All right. So this is great. I can actually see you guys answering the questions and see it on the screen here as well. Pretty amazing. So, and I tell you, well, these are some of my tools that I would use on the farm to make repairs to the equipment. And also I use these around my house. So this is just my, my tools for work. Okay, so good. I see a lot of people say not a problem. A few of you think it could be. Let's go ahead to the next slide. And I have this in the back of the truck as well. All right. So again, you guys asked me some questions about this, these items in the back of my truck. And I tell you all, well, I'm a farmer, and these are fertilizers that I use for my crops. It's food to help my corn and rice grow better. I bought these fertilizers across the border because they're less expensive there, and I'm bringing them back to use on my farm. So that's my answer when we look at these items. All right, so a lot of you are getting suspicious. Let's go to the next slide. And I have this. You find a pile of these sections of pipe that are in the trunk or in the back end of the truck. Okay, and my answer is I have these sections of pipe because I need to replace some of the water lines in my house. So these are some of the pipe sections that I bought across the border, and I'm bringing them home to make repairs. Okay. See, a lot of people think it's fine. Some don't think it's okay. And if you think that there may be a problem. All right, let's go to the next one. And I have this item. And I say, this is one of my farming tools. It's a tiller that I use in the fields to flip the dirt over for when I'm planting my seeds. All right. I see we have a lot of very suspicious people in the class here today. So this is my garden tiller. Then I have another item that you found. Let's go to the next slide. And I have a brand new battery in the back of the vehicle. And I say, well, this truck I'm driving, the battery is going bad in it. So when I was across the border, I picked up a new battery. When I get back to my house, I'm going to replace the battery in the truck with this one. Okay. Again, quite a few suspicious people about my car battery. And then let's go to the next item that you find. And I have these interesting, they almost look like yellow pens or marking pens or highlighters. And then I tell you, well, I have a side business. Besides being a farmer, I also sell fireworks on the side. So I picked these up and we're going to be using these for the big celebration. I'm going to be selling them for fireworks. Okay, so that's my answer on what those items are. All right, let's go ahead to the next slide. So now let's look at all of these items combined. Here's my truck. You can see it at the border crossing. And then these are all the items that you found in the back end. There was a barrel of oil, a car battery. You found the orange or red cabling, my garden tool, some fertilizer, my hand tools, and some pipe sections. So now think of all of these things combined. Would we have some type of a problem? Let's go ahead to the next slide. And looking at these items in total, not each separately, is there a possible concern? So there's no concern. Chemical weapon, nuclear weapon, IED, or biological concern. Well, I can see that you are going to be very difficult for me to try to trick as we go through the next couple days. So let's go ahead to the next slide. Everyone answered the same. Very good. Most of these items alone, if you saw these, they would not really be any concern at all. These are ordinary items that a farmer would have. We had farm equipment in there. We had some chemicals that would legitimately be used on a farm, the fertilizers. We have fuel oil, and the driver, the farmer, said he uses it for his farm equipment, which that makes sense to use diesel fuel. And then he had the car battery with a good explanation of why he had that. And then several home repair items, the sections of pipe, and the toolbox as well. However, the final item that we saw there, things that looked like yellow pens, those are a particular concern. We haven't talked about those yet, but those are actually boosters that would be used for detonation of an explosive. So some of the items of concern that we saw was the diesel fuel. And when I asked the first question about the cord, you actually got that correct. I'm very impressed you caught that. That is detonator cord that's used for lighting off explosives. And then I'm sure you're aware the combination of the ammonium nitrate fertilizer mixed with the diesel fuel would make a very potent explosive. They could pack the fuel oil and ammonium nitrate into those pipe sections and make a very powerful explosive using the combination of those two. Now, the items that really had nothing to do with making a CBRNE weapon would have been the garden plow. It's just simply a garden plow. It really did not fit the scene. And the hand tools. Again, the hand tools could possibly be used for helping assemble it, but really they would not really be necessary for this process. So do I see anybody have a question? I saw a hand go up in the back. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm just curious, have any of you come across a situation, something like we just talked about here? I guess I can see all of you. So if you've seen this situation like this at a border crossing, if you just want to raise your hand, that would be easier for us here. All right. Wow. You did really well on this exercise, especially have not seen these items, and you have quite a bit of knowledge about a lot of these items already. Your workshop you will be doing this afternoon is going to cover a little more detail on a few of these items, but we'll be going into more detail on the CBRNE side over the next couple days. So next slide. So I believe that is the end of this exercise, and we're about ready to take a break.